What's going on, boys and girls? Tennessee sports. If they're not getting you excited to the point of hysteria, they're driving you mad to the point of, well, hysteria. Right now, going on up in Cincinnati, the NCAA Infractions Committee hearing over the Jeremy Pruitt ordeal at the University of Tennessee a few years ago. As we all know by now, the famous or infamous Chick-fil-A bag incident. There's 18 infractions against the University of Tennessee. And keep in mind, this all happened on Jeremy Pruitt's watch. A lot of people, a lot of influential people showed up for this meeting, these hearings, which, if I believe I read correctly off of the Knox News Sentinel, wrapped up today after 2 days. Two very long and probably grueling days, 10 and a half hours the first day, close to the same the second day, and apparently they wrapped up a day early. Um, Not a lot, if any, information coming out of these hearings because they're closed to the public and the media. So basically, all you got off of the Knox News Sentinel was a play-by-play of Jeremy Pruitt walks into the building at this time. Tennessee's Philip Fulmer walks into the building at this time. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey comes into the building at this time. Uh, Pruitt's wife comes in. And I just named three people that really didn't have to be there: Greg Sankey, Philip Fulmer, or Casey Pruitt. None of those people had to attend these hearings, but they chose to. Hopefully, Fulmer and Sankey being there helps the outcome, which we won't know the outcome of these hearings for a while. And again, no media or public inside the room of these hearings. In fact, they were wearing wristbands, each day. Uh, why? Well, the joke going around was so they could get free beer at the bar. Maybe that's true, and maybe after 10 hours in a hearing room, they probably maybe wanted some free beer or free alcohol. Who knows? Wonder if Fulmer and Sankey got their free beer in a crystal bag. I doubt it. Very seriously doubt it. So a lot of speculation on what may or may not come out of these hearings. One thing we do know is it'll be a while before we hear what the rulings are. Um, there's several different thoughts coming out of these hearings about what should or could happen to Tennessee. Most people, at least Tennessee fans for that matter, are in the camp of they've already punished themselves enough. Don't think a bowl ban should be levied. Most people don't think a bowl ban will be levied. Most people in the know, and by most people I mean Jimmy Himes, my favorite and most trusted reporter in Knoxville. Um, but we'll see. It's the talk of the town right now. But hey, also you got the big orange caravan that's going on right now, and that's a fun thing for Tennessee fans to take part in every off season. And it always kicks off about this time of year. Uh, my future wife Kelly Harper, whenever she decides to divorce Mr. Harper, uh, then we can get married. She's there. Rick Barnes is there. Jeremy Pruitt's there. Oh, shit, Jeremy Pruitt. Josh Heupel is there. Tony Vitello would be there, but he's busy coaching a not good Tennessee baseball team right now. That's the bad news on the Tennessee sports front. Well, I guess these infraction hearings, are the bad news. The worst news is Tennessee baseball is struggling right now. In fact, they just got hammered Tuesday night by in-state. We're going to have to call them a rival now because this is 2 years in a row we've gotten beat by Tennessee Tech. Last year the excuse was, well, they were using wooden bats. Well, guess what? So was Tennessee Tech, and they won the game. This year they're using the aluminum composite bats, and Tennessee Tech absolutely thrashed our pitching with like 18 hits, I think, something like that, in a beatdown, 12-5, a beatdown of Tennessee. Tennessee baseball is a big fat question mark right now. You know, about halfway through the baseball season, the SEC baseball season, and they sit at 5-10, 5 games under 500. The beginning of the season, they were number two, I think. They were the number two ranked team in the country. This week, they're out of the top 25, struggling mightily. And depending on who you listen to, they need to get to 14 SEC wins to make the NCAA tournament. Did you hear that? To make the tournament. At this point, hosting a regional is out of the question. Right now, they're struggling just to get in the dang thing. And after last year, would you have ever thought that? No, I certainly wouldn't have. But that's the reality. This happens. The last two national champions, Mississippi State and Ole Miss, currently mired at the bottom of the SEC West. They're terrible. Well, they're not terrible, but they just happen to be in a conference that's stacked right now. Like half of the top 10 are SEC teams. Tennessee, biggest series of the year this year. Vanderbilt comes calling. Last year, Tennessee went into the Vandy Boys Stadium and swept the doors. And you know Vandy's licking their chops for this series. And they could very well come into Knoxville and sweep Tennessee this weekend. If that happens, this season is mostly a wrap. Tennessee's got to have this series. In fact, they've got to have the rest of their series. I'm not saying they got to sweep out, but they need to win these four, what is it, four, I think, 4 or 5 remaining series. And they're all tough, every single one of them. Even Georgia, which is not very good this year, they're still a team that can beat you. Hell, we got swept by Missouri in the first series of the year, and we're currently tied with them at 5-10 right now. Will Tennessee even make the SEC tournament this year? That's a legitimate question right now. And Tony V doesn't have all the answers. The hope is that this team will magically come together at this point because they're loaded. I mean, this Tennessee baseball team is loaded with talent all over the field. Considered one of the best pitching staffs in college baseball, but they're struggling everywhere. And the hope is that they'll put it all together soon, hopefully starting tomorrow night against Vandy, and start winning ball games again and get into the tournament, just like Ole Miss last year. Beginning of the year, Ole Miss was at the top. In fact, they were number one when Tennessee went into Oxford and swept their ass. So Tennessee's looking for some of that same magic this year. Can they put it all together, get into the tournament postseason, and win and make it to Omaha and go out there and steal the World Series? That would be great. I would much rather have a season like that than what we had last year, where we were amazing. Hottest baseball team possibly ever in the NCAA. One of the best. A lot of people consider last year's Tennessee team the best to ever hit the field in college baseball. That's saying something. What do? They get knocked out at home against an average Notre Dame team. So a lot of work to do on the diamond for the Tennessee baseballs. So keep an eye out for the Tennessee Caravan, the Big Orange Caravan. If it comes to your neighborhood, if it comes within a reasonable drive for you, go check it out. Be an opportunity that you otherwise wouldn't have to meet 3 of the biggest coaches on the campus at Tennessee. Wouldn't that be cool? Closest the Caravan comes to here is the Tri-Cities, 30 minutes away. So if you get a chance and you're a Tennessee fan, go check out the Big Orange Caravan. They do it every year. It's great. It's great for the university. It's great for the fans. It's great for the people, the sponsors or whatever that they go visit and represent doing this thing. I'm sure Bob Kessling will be there. Apologies for my voice. It's going out on me. Anyway, there's your update as I see it. Thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new to this channel and you're the first time watching this, go back and watch some of my older videos. We're going to have a lot of fun this college football season coming up. I promise you that. Back to doing live streams 3 days a week, Friday at 7, Sunday at 8, Wednesday at 8. Wednesday night is your chance to join the show. It's not a call-in show. It's a will call show, which basically means I drop the link at some point and you can come in and chop it up with me. A lot of fun. If you'd like to support the channel, you know how to do it. Hit that thumbs up. I appreciate you watching. I love you. I mean it. Your mom and daddy loves you. Give them a big old fat hug from BVD. And most importantly, go Vols. Screw y'all's team.